Paul's exhortations to the church, and to all believers for that matter, is listed in Romans chapter 12, after he has called us to be living sacrifices that are transformed for God's service. Good morning. This is Pastor Ernie Lewis of the Blue Point Church in Sisti, Illinois, with your thoughts for Friday. Paul has addressed our love for others, our service for the Lord, our diligence and our fervent work, even our attitude of hope and rejoicing and patient in tribulation, that continual thought of prayer. Then, in verse 13, he turns to how we should specifically care for one another within the body. Romans 12 and verse 13 says, distributing to the needs of the saints, given to hospitality. And we may not fully understand that word distributing here, unless we have read about the compassion and the care within the early church body in Acts chapter 2. When the church was very young, some of their number realized the need to pool their resources so that everyone could receive according to their needs. Barnabas was one of those. Barnabas is actually mentioned by name, who sold his land and brought the money to lay it at the apostles' feet so that they could distribute as they saw need among the family. You know, we don't always see that kind of unselfish action in the church today. Many who have been extremely blessed are kind of holding on to all that God has given them. Some may even worry about the security of their future, so they're stingy in the way that they give to others. And we're not talking about sharing our wealth so that everyone has abundance. That sounds like a program of the government, I think, to redistribute wealth and to punish those who have worked hard all their life to gather possessions to be comfortable. What Paul is talking about here is fulfilling the needs of the saints. You know, in recent years, there have been some mutual companies set up by Christians to care for the insurance needs of others, to pay their hospital and their doctor expenses in the midst of a crisis. This might be a good picture of what Paul is actually talking about here, in order to care for one another. But the church, as a body of believers, needs to get on board with this plan. When they see the definite needs of a member that they can address or that they can supply, they need to step up. Paul also calls the church to be given to hospitality. That means many may think of having someone in their home, maybe for a meal, or even allowing them to stay with you for a while. Hospitality doesn't always include room and board, you realize. But it does mean that we need to be kind, we need to be generous, very welcome to others with a cordiality, a friendliness, especially drawing them into the church. It might require housing someone for a time. It certainly was the possibility in Paul's day as he was traveling much of the known world and ministering as a missionary. But distributing and given to hospitality means that we show compassion when it is so necessary among the saints to fulfill their needs.